Right. Good morning. Say hello when you're here. Let's have a slug of tea. Say hello when you're here and give me one word as to how you're feeling. I have a plan for today, but I'm very happy to amend that plan. And then once you've done that, have a lay down. You know the drill by now. I'm going to catch you out one day. We're going to do something different. Just turning this way a little bit. There we go. Okay, righty-ho, you lot. On your backs, nice deep breaths. Just take a moment to check in. My boobs. You check in too? So breathing right down into your lower belly. And really notice, really feel that movement through your lower belly as you are breathing in and out. So you might want to have your hands resting down here. Okay, so have a little check in. How are you feeling? How are you feeling physically? If you need to have like a little wiggle to notice how you feel physically, then do so. Maybe like notice the sensations in your body. So can you feel like a gripping, a tightness, openness, softness, temperature, warmth, coolness? Check in with, you ready? Check in with your big toe. What are the sensations in your big toe? I'm going to say mine feels a bit achy. And then check in with your little toes. And it's amazing, isn't it? When you bring your attention to an area, a specific area, how you suddenly feel those sensations there. When we live our lives, you've probably never checked in with your big or little toes ever before. And then how are you feeling emotionally? So try and take that out of your head, maybe down into your heart, down into your body. How are you feeling? Maybe rest your hands on your heart. And then just wiggle how you need to wiggle to open everything up. You might need like a gentle awakening. You might need something a little bit quicker. Just move how you move. So there's no right or wrong. I guess wrong would be hurting yourself. It's just moving into your body. Okay, and one movement might lead to another movement. And as you're doing this, can you sink and surrender into your mat a little bit more? So I sometimes imagine that the mat underneath me is a bit like sand. And as I kind of wiggle, it's like I'm wiggling, you know, when you're lying on the beach, I'll bring it back. And kind of as if you wriggle, you sink down into it a little bit more. And it kind of molds to you. The mat isn't going to mold to you, but just allow yourself to sink in that much. Okay. Cool. So you'll have an idea of your boundaries for the day. Do you feel like you can really push it? Do you feel like you need to rein it in a little bit? Work with your boundaries. Work with what feels right. And then bring all your movement back to the center. Arms into a T shape, feet together, knees together. And just gently roll your knees to one side and the other side. Just start to get your spine moving, get your waist opening and moving. Hi, rhubarb. No, I don't want you in my face. Can you go away? Okay, you might want to bring your head into it. So as your knees go one way, your head goes the other way. I think this is maybe my favorite movement of all time. It just opens it all up. And then back to the center. Knees bent, feet hip width apart. If it feels good, you can have your arms back behind you. That just opens everything up a little bit more. And you're going to do your pelvic tilts, that gentle rock of your pelvis towards you and away from you. Tilt your pelvis towards you, so lower back into the mat and away from you. Pelvis towards you and away. As you're doing this, just notice the weight in your feet. Have you got equal weight through both sides? And then just allow your pelvis to settle back down. So find that weight through the back of your pelvis, weight through both sides of your pelvis. You're going to take it into some circles with your pelvis. So either imagining a bowl of water on top of your pelvis or a clock underneath it. You're either swishing the water around, or you are finding each number on the clock face. I can't speak. Your knees want to be doing a piston movement, so forwards and back, not side to side, or as little side to side as possible. Reverse. And then back to the center. Arms up to the ceiling. So just have your palms facing towards each other. Reach your fingers up so you've got that lift of your shoulders. And then sink your shoulders back down. Fingers reach, shoulders lift. And then back down. Fingers reach, shoulders lift. And back down. Reaching up. And down. Up. and down. A couple more. Up. And down. Up. And down. Okay, shoulders are heavy. Unfold into your T shape. And then coming in and up. So your breastbone sinks, your shoulders sink, the back of your arms sink, your elbows, your forearms, your wrists down to the tips of your fingers. And then up, down, unfolding. If that feels okay, you're going to take it into Y shape, it's a little bit stronger. Really reach right to the tip of your middle finger. One more. The last one. And then bring it in. And we're going to do a little bit of hand wrist stuff today. So let's just get them warmed up. It's going to be a little more, but we're going to use them, but we'll work through a little bit of technique. Make a gentle fist with each hand and just do some circles with your wrists. You might get some clicks and cracks. Reverse the other way. Okay, and then circles with your elbows. And reversing back the other way. Shake your hands up. Let's get your shoulders moving a little bit more. So arms up above you. It's a bit of a brain one first thing on the way. One arm to your hip, one arm back behind you. Circle your hands away from each other, so out to the sides. And then back up. So you're going to keep going in this direction. One arm to your hip, one arm back behind you. Circling round and then back up. Keep going in this direction. Hi, Rubesy. You're actually in the way. On my hand. One more, and then we're going to reverse. So just notice that movement through your shoulders. Keep your fingers nice and relaxed as you do this. Make it a nice, easy movement. Okay, one last one this direction. And then shake your wrists out. Beautiful. Okay, so from here, we're going to do some wristy bits, wristy, palmy, handy bits. I might just pop actually this table out in front so that you can see better. It's a very good idea, isn't it? So just remove my nail varnish from it. You can come to seated. You can do this like kneeling with your hands on the floor, whichever works. I'm going to do it on here just so that you can see. So wherever you are, I feel like I'm at a desk. You're going to have your hands flat and out. This is really good if you get like arthritis or tightness and things through your fingers. So it's basically just some finger exercises, but it will then come in useful when you're on all fours to give you more support through your wrists. So have your fingers flat. And first of all, you want your fingers as wide as you can. So if you imagine that you're on all fours, the wider your fingers, the better the base of support. Can you then lift your little fingers, place them back down, ring finger, middle finger, first finger, thumb. And then just go through those. Ring finger tends to be the hardest for most people. You might find that you lift 2 fingers at once when you do that one, little finger, middle finger, or middle finger and ring finger. And you're just going through those. Okay, if that's not happening, just use your other hand. It's all a bit of like muscle memory. Okay, cool. That might feel like enough. If you want to make it a little bit stronger, can you do circles? Circles with your little finger. You're going to get finger ache. Quite rare. Reverse those circles the other way. Okay. And then place that finger down. Ring finger, circles. So that might be a bit hard. You can use your hand. And once you've kind of got it going with your other hand, you might find it a little bit easier. Reverse the other way. Place that finger down. So as you place your fingers down, try and spread them wide. Middle finger. You'll feel your forearms maybe starting to ache a little bit or work a little bit. Reverse the other way. Back down. First finger. Have we reversed your middle finger? If you haven't, quickly reverse it. If not, come to your first finger. I think this is your first finger. I'm not very good with which is which. Reverse. And then finally, your thumb. So even though we use our hands the whole time, doesn't mean that they necessarily have that same like strength and support through them. Reverse the other way. You kind of need that intentional strengthening sometimes. And then just shake your hands out. So the other thing with hands and wrists, they're the most common break point, because if we fall, we tend to put our hand down or hands down, which is good because it means we don't land on our face. But yeah, it can fracture and break bones and things. So building up the muscles around them is so good for that like strength and support of the bones. So what I want you to do now is have your fingers really wide. And you're going to have your first finger, sure it's your first finger next to your thumb, pointing forwards. So straight towards you guys. And then that is going to give you a little bit of support. And if my arms were straight, kind of like if I was on all fours, my elbows would be in a good position. Gently push down into the tips of your fingers. Almost make like you're making a little like tent underneath your palm, or it's like a suction pad. And then first finger is forefinger. I think we've got the right one. You know what I mean. So gently push down into the tips of your fingers. Feel that like suction pad underneath your palm. And this is what we're going to want when you are on all fours. You'll feel, it will be really hard work to start with. You'll feel your forearms working, but you're going to get a better setup and better support through your shoulders. And that is a win-win. You then can spend more time on your hands. And we can then, there's lots of different exercises we can do. What we're going to do for a moment is just let your wrists soften off. So we're going to come back down onto your mats, onto your backs. We'll just give your wrists a little break, and then we'll come back onto all fours. So let's just straighten you up again. Cool. On your backs. Give your wrists a little shake out if they need it. And we're going to go legs and tabletop. So one leg up, the other leg up. Keep your ribs nice and soft. Abs are connected, ribs are connected towards your pubic bone. And just go for some toe taps. Alternating side to side. Breathe out as your leg goes out, in to come in, out to go out, in to come in, out to go out, in to come in. These feel okay, arms up, opposite arm and leg. Okay, just go for one more each side. And then knees into your chest, one hand on each knee, just stir your knees around. And reverse the other way. Cool. From here, we are going to come onto all fours. So we're going to find that setup that we were just talking about. You might want to start in like a little bit of a child's posy position so that you don't have that weight through your wrists. So we're going to call it your forefinger, first finger, finger next to your thumb. That finger points forwards. And then from there, spread all your other fingers really wide. You've got that gentle drawing down of the tips of your fingers and a little lift through the center of your palms. If this gets too much, you can just come onto your knuckles. You're just going to hinge forwards and back a little bit. Keep that connection through your wrists. And then circle, so you're circling around your wrists here. And then reverse the other way. Okay, come back to the center. So you are drawing your fingers down, you're drawing your palms down, but with that kind of suction pad lift in the middle. Can you now lift your arms out of your hands? So strong center, hands stay down, but it's like you're lifting your forearms out of your wrists, your upper arms out of your elbows. You have to use your abs to do that. You have to use your abs to maintain that. And just hold it there. It can be quite hard work. Feel that lift out. Okay. And then release off, shake your wrists. Let's come onto your forearms. So you won't have the weight through your hands, but try and get that same setup. So forefinger pointing forwards. Forearms are parallel to each other. Tips of your fingers are drawing down, that lift through the center of your palm. Shoulder blades are soft down your back. Belly button is drawing up towards your spine. Your forearms are drawing down. Your upper arms are lifting out of your elbows. Feel your shoulders working a little bit. And look kind of down to where your thumbs are. If your head's down here, we tend to just hang it down. So look kind of towards where your thumbs are. Nice strong center. Slide one leg back. And then lift up to the ceiling, tap your toes down. So leg slides back, lift, lower, lift, lower, lift, lower. Keep that lift of your chest. For your arms working. 5 more lifts on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And down. Other leg goes back. Keep that equal weight through both arms. Lift, lower, lift, lower, lift, lower. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In. Come back into a child's pose. Release your wrists, release your forearms. Couple more deep breaths here. And then row 2. We're going to give your wrists a little bit of a break. You are going to come up to kneeling into a nice high knee. Okay, toes can be flat, toes can be tucked. Toes tucked, you might get a little stretch through the soles of your feet, which is not a bad thing. And I want you to be really tall here. So you have got a little tuck of your pelvis. So your pubic bone is drawn forwards. Rib cage, back of your ribs, gently softening down. Arms can be by your sides to start with. You can bring them up. If you bring them up, just be sure that you're not rounding your shoulders. Keep your shoulder blades connected. And you're going to hinge back and forward. So we're using your quads, we're using your glutes. If you come back and you're arching into your back, that you're just going to feel it down here. So keep that really strong tuck. Keep your abs drawing in. Hinge back and up. Hinging back and up. Hinge back. Okay, so you will be being clever here. I'm not sure that makes sense. What we tend to do is we go back, bring our head forwards, because our heads are really heavy and it's hard work to bring your head back. Keep your head on top of your shoulders. So my eye gaze goes kind of up to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Obviously, if you're right next to the wall, I probably wouldn't look straight up, but just look slightly up. Hinging back, forward. Keep coming out of it for a little bit longer. Okay. If they feel all right, you are going to come back. You're going to hold it here. Squeeze your bum in, squeeze your quads, abs in. Hold it, hold it, hold it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Just give your legs a little shake out. You're then going to go feet together, knees a little bit wider. And if you can, get your heels squeezing in. You won't get your feet like flat against each other, but just get the soles of your feet as much as you can drawing in towards each other. As you squeeze your heels in, you'll feel the insides of your legs work. Nice and tall, little tuck. Hinge back, keep your heels squeezing in. You probably won't come back so far. That's to do with the shape in your hips. That's absolutely fine. You're going to feel a different part of your quads now working. Okay. We're just going to do a couple more like this, and we're going to change it one more time. Okay, one last one. Heel squeeze in, glute squeeze in. Pelvis stays tucked. And then bring your feet together, your knees together, feet wider. You might not get your knees completely together, that's cool. Again, tuck your pelvis, abs draw in. Feel that softness of your mid-back, shoulder blades gently drawing down. Abs. Coming back. And then I have limited movement here, but it is strong. Okay, two more. And two. And then release down. Come to seated. Have one leg out or both legs back out. You're going to use your elbow gently to massage into your quad. You could use your forearm, you could use a fist. Elbow is maybe the strongest. And come into your inner thigh. So Joe, I know you said about rolling out your inner thigh. I am yet to work it out without getting totally tangled up. This is a good way to do it with your elbow. So keep rubbing into your quad. You can come to the outside, your like IT band. A little bit longer on this leg. It's very useful what these bony parts say. And then just notice the difference, or like the difference in the feeling through both legs, so that you've just done that. Switch over to the other side. Elbow, forearm, fist. Come into all those different spots. You can put as much or as little pressure into it as feels good. I'm going to show you a forearm version of this in a moment, which is so nice. Okay. Quad should feel a little bit more alive, a bit softer. Maybe won't scream at you as much after doing those lean backs. So from here, we're going to come back onto all fours. So remember, if it's too much, you can do that like gorilla pose onto your knuckles. If you're doing a gorilla pose, so you've got your knuckles down, just have your thumbs pointing, thumbs down. They will point in towards each other like that, and slightly push into your thumbs. That will just keep your wrists stacked. Otherwise, we tend to go wrists falling out to the side. Or back to that position we were talking about earlier. So forefinger pointing forwards, the rest of your fingers really wide. Tips of your fingers are drawing down that lift through the center of your palm. And you're going to tuck your toes under. If this doesn't work through your toes, you can have flat feet. Your shoulders are going to stay over your wrists. Tuck your pelvis, ribs draw down, shoulder blades soften down your back. You're just going to do a really tiny little hover of your knees. The lower the hover, the stronger it is. So if you're up here, it's still strong, but it's less through your quads, more through your shoulders. Use your abs, they're going to help you. Okay, just go for one more. And then rest it down. We're going to change it quickly. If you want to come off your rest for a second and I'll show you, then do. I'm just going to take my socks off. My mat's a bit slippy. So, same thing with your hands. You're going to crouch this time. So the closer that your feet are to your hands, the stronger this is. What we're looking for is your shoulders to be over your wrists. Just rocking back and forth like this can be enough. If you want to make it stronger, you get your hands set up, shoulders over wrists, and then come up. So you're not having to come up to straight legs. What I'm looking for is the weight going down through your hands. Look between your hands, and then you can release. Push up. Release. It is so much about using your abs. So as you are up, draw your belly button up in towards your spine. Scoop through your center. And you should feel your shoulders work. Go for just 2 more. And then last one. And then release out of it. You're coming onto your fronts. We'll leave your wrists alone now. Your shoulders might have felt that quite a lot too. Shake your wrists out. Okay. And then head resting on your hands. Little wiggle of your pelvis. Okay. So just let everything sink and settle here for a moment. So the front of your pelvis is heavy into the mat now. Feet are about hip width apart. And I want you to keep your feet down, either toes tuck or feet flat, whichever. Squeeze through the back of your legs, you'll just feel your knees lift and down. So your feet are staying down, you just got a knee lift. Okay, bring one heel in toward your bottom. And big circles. Reverse the other way. Leg back down, switch to the other side. Heel to your bum, circles from your knee. I say circles from your knee. The movement is actually coming from in your hip. So you'll feel how you roll onto the inside and outside of your thigh. Reverse back. And then leg back down. Tuck your toes under. If this is too strong, feet flat, but I reckon you'll be good with toes tucked. Pubic bone down towards the mat. So that gives you that lift up through your center. You're just going to lift one leg and down, and then the other leg and down. So you get a heel reach, and then a lift, back down, heel reach, lift, down. Alternating side to side. Okay. One more each side. And then rest it down. Feet are going to be flat. No, they're not. Tops of your feet are going to be down on the mat now. If you can, have your legs squeezing in towards each other. Inner thighs draw in. Squeeze your heels. Float both legs and down. Float both legs and down. Both legs up and down. Up and down. Up and down. Up and down. A couple more. Up and down. Up and down. Both legs up. If you can, hold it here. Strong through your center. Little flutter kick for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release your legs. Come back into a child's pose. Breathing into it. Cool. And then release out. I said I'd show you a little forearm release. So you can do this down on the mat, leaning into it, or you could just come up to seated and have your forearm resting on you. Elbow or other forearm or fist. And you're just going to rub up and down. If you can have your hand as like relaxed as you possibly can, you might notice how your fingers start to move. They're like triggered by that rubbing, by that kind of like contact. So different parts of your hand, like you've got all your different ligaments and muscles and tendons and things that go up, different parts of your forearm link to different fingers. So you might get like your fingers curling in as you get to a certain part of your forearm. You can come around the sides. And then onto the back of your forearm. Could be quite tender where we use our hands so much. So. Okay. Switch to the other forearm. So either elbow, forearm, palm, fingers, knuckles. You'll work out kind of like the right way to do it for you. So try and keep your palm and your fingers as relaxed as you can as you do it. And then you can come onto the back of your forearm. So might feel completely different on your dominant arm to the other side. Okay, and then shake that out, shake out your wrists. Lots of like finger exercises. Get your fingers moving, get those strength through your wrists. So things like, I don't know, what have I got close by that we could use? Like gripping onto stuff, nails on tree. That like gripping. You feel your forearm. You can do it with a like stress ball, spiky ball, tennis ball, socks. The more that we can build that strength out through your wrists, through your forearms, the easier it is to be on all fours. have the most incredible day. Enjoy yourselves, whatever you're up to. And I will catch you guys soon. Lots of love.